Olivia and I decided we wanted to research the skeletal system for this project, and we found out that bones are alive. Yes, they are alive, and they play a much bigger role than just being the frame structure of our bodies. The human skeletal system has a total of 206 bones. You have 27 hand bones, 26 feet bones, 14 bones in your face, 8 bone plates that make up your skull, 3 ear bones, and many others. Your bones have the amazing ability to break down and rebuild, adjusting its size when you grow and when you break one. Most of your bones develop from cartilage through a process called ossification. The outside membrane, or rather the surface layer of a bone, is called the periosteum. Underneath that layer is the next layer called the compact bone. It is the hard layer that protects the inner layers of each bone. Those layers are the spongy bone and bone marrow, where new red blood cells are made. Once upon a time, human ancestors walked on all fours. Our bipedalism, walking on 2 feet, has set us apart from the rest of the mammalian species. There are many theories about how and why we evolved to walk on our own 2 feet. One theory is that our ancestors became bipedal due to climate change. As the forest began to shrink, many hominids needed to cross grasslands to another part of the forests for food. To walk back, not only did they need their hands free for food, but walking on 2 feet was also much easier when walking these long distances. Lucy, the famous 3.2 million year old skeleton, helped scientists figure out how recently hominids started walking upright. Lucy has many bone features that allow scientists to deduce that she walked bipedally, one of them being that her vertebrae had spinal curvatures that are consistent with an upright stance. Another feature is that her pelvis had been entirely remodeled so that her entire body weight could be shifted between the 2 legs. Homeostasis is the process in which the body keeps itself in balance. Quote, calcium homeostasis regulates calcium flow to and from bones, unquote, boundless. If the calcium levels get too high or too low, the thyroid gland is triggered to release hormones that correspond to the problem. The hormone released when calcium levels are too high is called calcitonin. It triggers bones to store calcium and the kidneys to stop taking in calcium. When the levels are too low, a specific part of the thyroid gland is used, the parathyroid. The parathyroid produces its own hormone which tells the bones to release calcium that has been stored and triggers the intestines and kidneys to take in calcium. Bones play an important part in maintaining calcium homeostasis. The 3 main types of bone cells are osteoclasts, osteocytes, and osteoblasts. The osteoclasts break down old bone cells so that they can be rebuilt stronger and better than the old ones. The osteocytes maintain the bone tissue that surround them and keep the bone healthy. The osteoblast cells form new collagen fibers and help with calcium deposition. Calcium moves into and out of bone cells through pumps in the membranes because calcium cannot cross a cell membrane. The calcium pumps are a form of active transport and they use ATP for energy. Bones know when to store calcium because of the release of the hormone calcitonin to distribute calcium when the parathyroid releases its specialized hormone. Achondroplasia is a genetic disorder that affects the cartilage. People with achondroplasia don't have a problem creating cartilage, but with forming the cartilage into bone. It has this problem because the proteins that help the cartilage form into bone have a different amino acid than the normal protein. Instead of having the normal glycine amino acid, an arginine amino acid is in its place because of a point mutation. Most of your ossification occurs during your developmental years, so it's no surprise that people with achondroplasia don't grow much larger than 4.5 feet tall. Achondroplasia is a dominant gene, meaning you only need 1 copy to have the disease. People with 2 copies of the gene are unheard of, as having a homozygous pair will kill the fetus in utero. These 2 graphs show the standard deviation, or mean, of height in females on the left and males on the right over time. The dotted lines show the median heights of unaffected males and females, while the thick purple and blue lines show that of those affected with achondroplasia. Not only are the height of unaffected males larger than females, meaning they are taller, but the affected males are also taller than the females. This information is based on 214 females and 189 males with achondroplasia. The muscular system and the skeletal system, otherwise known as the musculoskeletal system, work together to create motion. Without a skeleton, the human body would be a blob, but without muscles, Nothing would hold our bones together. Having both bones and muscles allows us to function and move in the outside world. The skeleton provides structure for tendons to attach muscle and bone together. The tendons attach at joints like your knees and ankles. These attachments allow the muscles to flex and relax across bones when stimulated by the nervous system. Thank you for listening to our presentation, and here are our sources.